This year is Leila Nishmas, Elimelech ben Levi Yitzchak, Osher Shmuel Chaim ben Ephraim, Esther bas Sarah, Osher ben Yosef, Rivka bas Yitzchak Isaac, Mira bas Yaakov, Tzvi Dov ben Chaim Pesach, Socha ben Shifra, Yitzchak ben Sarah, Devorah bas Yitzchak, Leah bas Simcha, Avram ben Mordechai David, Ruven ben Shmuel, Chani Itl bas Moshe David, Ruven ben Shmuel, Chana Golda bas Yisrael, Yeshua ben Shmuel, Chaim ben Fega, Yaakov ben Yitzchak, Mataleah bas Eliyahu, Mordechai Netzach ben Rivka, Shoshana bat Clara, Batya Esther bat Benyamin, and Zalman Lev ben Moshe, Amichai ben Yaakov, Leila Nishmatam, Chaya Ruth, Leila Nishmat Chaya Ruth, bat Abraham, and Henny Rasha Bas, Moshe, and Nishmatam. Haftorah and Parshas Bo, if you take a look in Birnbaum books, I think it's pages there.
What page is it? Do you know?
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
It's in Shmot, right?
Shmot.
That's where we are.
Shmot, Parshas Bo.
Not smoke.
Okay,
Shmot.
page 367.
367 in the Birnbaum book.
Not smoke.
The Haftorah from the book of Yirmiyahu, Ephraim. The book of Yirmiyahu. The Haftorah and the Parsha both speak about the downfall of Egypt.
I do just that.
Okay.
How about Iran?
We're going to talk about that.
Did you see what happened yesterday?
What?
They captured American sailors, 12 of them.
Who
They
captured? The Iranians?
The Iranians, they made them kneel on the with their hands tied
Really?
behind
Yesterday?
them. That's right.
Americans?
Americans, and they took the weapons. We don't know what they did.
Those are our peace partners, Iran.
And Obama did nothing. They
No.
apologized.
And they made, and one of the crew members was a lady. They made her put on one of those
Yeah.
Burqa Babe,
What a
hi.
humiliation.
Hi, Vivi, you want to take a good book. So anyway, the Parsha speaks, right? Parshas Bo speaks about the plagues that forced Pharaoh to listen to Hashem. Yirmiyahu's prophecy, the Haftorah tells of also his defeat and humiliation. The declining years of the first temple of another Pharaoh, 8 centuries later, by the Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babel. Okay, now let's take a look at the Haftorah. Hadavar ashediber Hashem el Yirmiyahu hanavi lovay Nebuchadnezzar melech Babel lahakot et Eretz Mitzrayim. You have the Haftorah, Ephraim? The word of Hashem that came to Yirmiyahu the Navi, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Egypt, would come and strike the land of Egypt. Lahakot et Eretz Mitzrayim. The Parsha speaks about what? God striking the land of Egypt. So in the Parsha, he strikes the land of Egypt through whom? Moshe Rabbeinu. And 8 centuries later, in the days of Yirmiyahu, Ephraim, he also strikes the land of Egypt, but this time he strikes it through Nebuchadnezzar melech Babel. What's the message? God has many agents out there. In the Parsha, he uses Moshe, lahakot et Eretz Mitzrayim. Then 8 centuries later, he uses Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, to also the same words, lahakot et Eretz Mitzrayim. So the message is that God has many agents. Har b'shluchim lamokoim. Sometimes he'll use a tzaddik as an agent, like Moshe Rabbeinu, and sometimes he'll use a rasha, like the Nebuchadnezzar, to what? To be his agent. There you have current events, Ephraim. You have Pakistan just threatened that they will nuke Iran. Pakistan.
Wow.
They got paid off to do that.
Can you imagine that? So we, just like in the Parsha, we sat back and watched Egypt being destroyed. We didn't do anything. So 3,300 years later, now Pakistan said they're going to nuke Iran.
Good to me.
So we're going to sit back and watch the show, like in Mitzrayim.
Sure not going to save Iran.
They don't nuke each other because we'll all die in the fallout.
The world will be a much better place.
It's amazing how God manipulates Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, to tackle our worst enemy, Ephraim. It's amazing how God has so many agents out there. In the Parsha uses Moshe Rabbeinu, in the Haftorah uses the Buchanetzar, and in current events he's using Pakistan and Saudi Arabia to tackle our worst enemy, Iran. It's just unbelievable. We just sit back and watch. That's pretty amazing. Okay, now let's take a look at an amazing pasuk here, pasuk 16. You look at pasuk 16, the Hebrew begins, Hirba koshel gam ki nofal ishal re'ehu vayoimru kuma. I'm reading pasuk Tezayin.
Gam nafal.
Hirba koshel gam nofal ishal re'ehu vayoimru kuma v'noshuva el ameinu bel eretz moladatenu b'pnei cherev hayona. So what does verse 16 mean, Ephraim? You have 16? He caused much stumbling. Each man fell against his friend, and they said, Arise, and let us return to our people and the land of our birth from before the sword of the oppressor. B'pnei cherev hayona. What does the word Yonah mean?
It's a dove.
A dove. And over here, what does the English translate? Oppressor. That's strange. B'nei cherev hayona. From the sword, your English has oppressor?
Destroying sword. They cry
From the destroying sword.
Destroying sword. So you have cherev, and they translate the word Yonah as destroying, right?
Yeah.
But we know Yonah is what? Is a dove, the symbol of peace. What's it all about, Malka? Huh? What's it all about? Well, again, current events, Ephraim. We have an olam hafuch. Our peace partners, they say they want peace. They really want cherev, but they disguise it as a Yonah. Isn't that amazing, buddy? How the Parsha of the week speaks to current event. Our peace partners, they say they want Yonah, the dove is the symbol of peace. But they really want cherev. Yehud, is that amazing? The double speak. Cherev means destruction, the sword. Right? So they terrorize us with knives. Right? The knife intifada. But they say they want peace. What's the symbol of peace? Yonah.
Yeah, they spell it differently.
What differently?
Peace. P-I-E-C-E.
They want a piece of us.
Piece of the land. and
Right.
whole us. They want it all.
The words sound the same, but they don't mean.
But just amazing. They cherev hayonah. So the word Yonah is destroying, but our peace partners say it's about peace, but they all want our destruction. So again, Ephraim, you have the current events in the Parsha of the week. It's just amazing. Now, the pasuk goes on. Pasuk 22. Every Jew at 22. Koiloi kanachash. Kolo kanachash yelech ki bechayil yelchu. Verse 22. Egypt's voice will travel like a snake. You ever heard a snake speak? What do you mean Egypt's voice will travel like a snake? If you look on a map, the Nile River, Ephraim, is shaped like a nachash. The chief avodah zarah of Mitzrayim was what? The Nile River. The Nile River, which is shaped like a snake.
And the crocodile.
And the Para was in the Nile. Get it? In the Nile. He denied God. In the Nile.
I love it.
Kolo kanachash. Egypt is compared to the snake, right? Cunning, deceiving. Kolo kanachash. The hissing sound of the snake to entrap us, to deceive us. So Egypt's voice will travel like a snake. Now, you look at Pasuk 23. Karsu yaron Hashem ki lo yechoker ki rabu ma'arbeh ve'ein lahem mispar. Verse 23. They will cut down her forest. The word of Hashem, for they are beyond calculation. They are more numerous than arbeh. What does arbeh mean? Locust. And there is no number for them. So again, you have a connection to the Parsha. In the Parsha, God strikes Egypt with insect arbeh, and 8 centuries later, under Yirmiyahu, God will strike Egypt again, but this time The arbe will not be insects, they'll be what? There'll be what? Babylonian soldiers. There'll be so many of them to invade Egypt in the days of Yirmiyahu, they'll be like the locust attack. So you see a connection between the Parsha and the Haftorah. In the Parsha, God strikes Egypt with insect locusts, and 8 centuries later, God will strike Egypt again in days of Yirmiyahu. Arbe, the same word arbe, but this time there won't be insects, there'll be human locusts. There'll be so many Babylonian soldiers, it'll appear as if what? A herd of locusts is coming to what? Invade Egypt. Isn't that pretty amazing? The same word arbe, but here it's referring to the Babylonian hordes that are uncountable, like in the Parsha, the insects were uncountable. So, but the point is, Elisheva, God has many agents, right? Sometimes we'll use human agents, insect agents, but nothing happens without God's control.
He's messing,
right?
doing chess.
God is pulling the strings.
That's right.
That's the purpose of the makot, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu pulls the strings. Nothing happens without God. Pasuk 27. Ata, and you, al tira avdi Yaakov, val techas Yisrael, ki hini Moshiacha merachok, ve'zaracha me'eretz Shivyam, v'shav Yaakov, v'shakat, v'shanan, ve'ein machrid. Pasuk 27. But as for you, do not be afraid, my servant Yaakov, and do not be frightened, O Israel, for I am saving you from afar, and your offspring from the land of their captivity, and Yaakov shall return, and be tranquil and complacent, and none will make him afraid. We are living this prophecy, Ephraim. We returned. How did our great-grandparents learn this? Yaakov shall return. We have returned to our precious land. We are living this prophecy. Look at the word Yaakov, how it's spelled. See, Malk, it's spelled funny. You look at the Hebrew, you have it? Chanoch, Chav Zayin. The second Yaakov is spelled with an extra vav. You don't see that?
Is that in 27?
In Chav Zayin, 27. V'shav Yaakov, Yaakov shall return. V'shakat, Sheket. Ve'ein machrid, and he won't be terrorized anymore. So we have Haftorah that Yaakov will come back and he won't be terrorized. But the word Yaakov is spelled funny. Ephraim, you have it? Pasuk Chav Zayin, the second Yaakov. The first one is spelled without a vav, but the second one is spelled with an extra vav. Why? Rashi comments that the word Yaakov 5 times in Tanakh is written with an extra vav. And the word Eliyahu in Tanakh is written 5 times without a vav. Again, Yaakov's name in Tanakh is 5 times is written with an extra vav. This is one of the 5 times. And the name Eliyahu in Tanakh is written 5 times with missing a vav.
At the end?
So Eliyahu
Eliah.
went to Yaakov. For why?
So Rashi quotes a midrash that Yaakov hijacked the letter vav from Eliyahu, and he's holding it hostage. He'll only get it back when Eliyahu comes to announce the final Gula. Who's the prophet of the final Gula? Eliyahu Navi. So Rashi quotes a midrash that Yaakov captured the letter vav from Eliah, and he's holding it for ransom, and if you want your name complete, you have to come and announce what? The final redemption. So Malka, why 5 times? 5 times. 5 books of Torah. And why did he capture a vav? Why didn't he took another name another letter hostage? Why dafka vav, Yehuda? Yaakov took a vav from Eliyahu's name, and he stuck it in his name, and he won't give it back until Eliyahu comes to redeem us. So tell Eliyahu Fuller that his name in Tanakh 5 times is spelled Elia. The vav disappeared because Yaakov hijacked it. And he's holding it for ransom. He won't return it until what? Eliyahu Navi comes to announce the final Gula. So why did he kidnap a vav? Why not another letter? Vav means hook. What does a vav mean in Hebrew?
It's a hook.
Hook.
Oh, the holding it.
Yaakov is saying, no matter how far we stray from God, we are still hooked. We're connected. That hook cannot be broken. No matter what we do or we don't do, we are hooked. I'm hooked on a feeling. Who sang that? We're hooked together.
Okay,
Right? That hook can never be broken.
There's something
Well.
very interesting in the paper today about the Syrian Jews that were forcibly converted to Christianity. And they're coming back to Judaism.
They're coming back.
Hooked. They're hooked.
They're hooked together, right? That hook cannot be broken.
It's good.
Now, if you take a look at the last pasuk, Chavches 28, Va'ata, Ata al tira avdi Yaakov num Hashem, ki what? Ki itcha ani. What's he saying in verse 28?
Because I'm with you.
You do not be afraid, my servant Yaakov, says the word of Hashem. Don't be afraid of John Balkari, for I am with you. And even though I shall make an end of all the nations where I have dispersed you, but of you I shall never make an end. I shall punish you with justice, but I shall never destroy you. What a prophecy. All the nations that persecuted the Eden. Where is ancient Egypt today, Ephraim? Where's ancient Rome? Babylon, Greece, Assyria. Where are they?
In their museum.
They're gone with the wind.
The Nazis.
All the well, God has a long memory, 60 years. They're going to wind up like Assyria.
They're going to end up.
Any nation that persecuted the Yidden, the prophet says they are going to be totally destroyed.
Getting their punishment now.
We're still here.
Starting now.
They started now. Right?
You ever wonder, buddy, China is just as ancient as Assyria. You know that? China is just as ancient as Assyria, Rome, Babylon, and Greece. They're all extinct, and China's still here. Why?
They never persecuted the Jews.
Beautiful. China never persecuted the Yidden.
Never.
So Kawinky Dinky, that all the ancient races that persecuted the Yidden are long gone. And China, who's just as ancient as Assyria, they're still here. Kawinky Dinky?
Nope.
Because Jews love Chinese food. No?
To go.
You ever see a Jewish neighborhood without a Chinese restaurant?
It can't be.
So China is still here, Ephraim. Assyria, Greece, Rome, Babylon, gone.
Rabbi, the Upper East Side where I used to live, there
Yeah.
was a Chinese restaurant called Mitsu Young.
Me too young.
Hebrew letters.
Yeah.
And also, since we're from the tribe of Shem, he's the Asian one. We're actually we're Asian.
So
like
China's still
We're
here.
actually Asian like the Chinese.
You remember Shmulka Bernstein's in the Lower East Side?
Yes.
They're all Chinese waiters, and they all spoke Yiddish. So I asked Mr. Shmulka Bernstein, how do you teach them to speak Yiddish? He says, shh, shh, they think it's English.
Wow. You remember Yossi P. King?
Yes, he was here in Israel,
Yeah.
right? The waiters all spoke Yiddish.
Yeah.
So we asked him how. He says, shh, they think it's English. Not a joke, it's true. But anyway, see the Haftorah,
Recycle the old.
right?
The Second World War, all those German Jews moved to China. Huh?
Shanghai.
There's
Yeah,
also
they were saved.
a
They were
group
saved.
of there's also a group
There
of
wasn't old,
Very
there wasn't old
Very
ancient Jewish community, but they ended up intermarrying. And they
Now, in this week's Parsha, the Torah mentions the first mitzvah, Rosh Chodesh. You can look in your book, it's Exodus 12. Exodus 12, Pasuk 2. Anyone need a book? We have books. Exodus 12, Pasuk 2. The first mitzvah given to the Am Yisrael was Rosh Chodesh. And right after that, what's the next mitzvah, Chanoch? Korban Pesach and Brit Milah. Those are the three first mitzvahs given to the nation. Rosh Chodesh, Brit Milah, and Korban Pesach. Why are those three singled out? If you want to sum up the Jewish religion, in three mitzvahs you have Rosh Chodesh, Korban Pesach, and Brit Milah. What's Rosh Chodesh all about? To sanctify time. not to waste time, to kill time. HaChodesh hazeh lochem, Rosh Chodashim. As a slave, you had no time. Your time belonged to Tutankhamun. I'm giving you the gift of time. Make something of it. Sanctify time. Judaism is all about Kidushas Hazman, to sanctify time, not to waste time or to kill time. That's Rosh Chodesh. Then you have the mitzvah of what? Brit Milah. What is Brit Milah all about, Chanoch? Kidushat Haguf. That the body, not just the soul, but the body can also become holy. The body is not what? A plaything? Through Brit Milah, we sanctify the body. That's a trick of Ephraim. Not just the soul is holy, but the body can become holy. So Brit Milah is Kedushas what? Haguf. That's the second pillar of Yahadut. Right. What's the third pillar of Yahadut? Kedushat HaMakom. Ephraim. Korban Pesach. Can you do Korban Pesach in Borough Park? Korban Pesach is only where? In Eretz Yisrael. Korban Pesach. So these three mitzvahs, Chanoch, that's Yahadut.
You'll see it in your lifetime.
Rosh Chodesh is Kedushas Hazman, you sanctify time. Brit Milah is Kedushas Haguf. And Korban Pesach is Kedushas HaMakom. You can't do Korban Pesach in Lakewood, New Jersey.
They don't let us do it here either. Yes.
Now, Rosh Chodesh is called the Yontif for the women. Right? And the women have a minhag not to do work on Rosh Chodesh. Why is Rosh Chodesh Yontif l'noshim? Madua v'lama? Ephraim, why is Rosh Chodesh unique Yontif for ladies? Why is that?
They make 3 kugels before Rosh Chodesh.
Why is that? Right. But the question is why? Everyone the Elisheva? Why is Rosh Chodesh your Yontif? You sitting down? Rosh Chodesh, can you see the moon? No, you can't. Rosh Chodesh, it's pitch black. You can't see the moon.
Oh, a woman's body renews itself every
Good,
month.
but it's more than that, Mikimia.
Yeah.
When it's pitch black and men are ready to lose hope, women say, don't despair.
Right.
It's pitch black, but soon there's going to be what? A sliver of light. Women are the eternal optimists. Women have a bina yetera. We see pitch blackness, Rosh Chodesh. We see no hope. Abu Mamzer, John Balkari. It looks hopeless, but you ladies, it looks pitch black, and it is. But the sliver of the new moon will come soon.
Good.
Women have a bina yetera, not to despair. In Mitzrayim, we wanted to throw in the towel. It looked hopeless. Why have kids? They'll wind up in the bottom of the Nile River, right? The women wouldn't give up because they know Rosh Chodesh. It looks black now, but the dawn of redemption, the moon, this light of the moon is what? Coming very soon.
Isn't it always darkest?
We can see it.
Dawn?
Men have verstopped the cup. What?
Isn't it always darkest before the dawn?
Darkest, right? The blackest hours before dawn. But you women know Rosh Chodesh is your Yontif. Even though it's pitch black, there's no moon, but you understand that the moon is going to shine. The Jewish people are compared to the moon. We follow a lunar calendar. Why? The Zohar says, because we are like the moon. We're surrounded by blackness. We look like we're about to be swallowed up by evil. But we're the great comeback kid. Right? We keep rejuvenating. Rejuvenating. The moon looks like it's gone, swallowed up. It's over. The Jewish people many times look like they've been swallowed up by blackness. But we keep coming back. We're the great comeback kid. And therefore, the first mitzvah given to us was what? Rosh Chodesh. The mitzvah to rejuvenate. Rejuvenate?
Yes.
The mitzvah to sanctify change. I can change. I can renew myself. The word chodesh comes from the word what? Chidush.
What?
Chidush. What's new? To renew yourself, to grow, to progress. Things will get better. The Jew is the eternal optimist. That's why Jews are the best comedians. No, Yehuda? What? Jews are the best comedians.
Right.
We are the eternal
Give
optimists.
ourselves hope.
What?
But isn't Rosh Chodesh about hope then?
Rosh Chodesh is about hope, about renewal, about rejuvenation. Right? And even though things look black, you don't see the moon. It's all black. But we know the moon is going to shine. And that's the symbol of Am Yisrael. And therefore we have a lunar calendar and not a solar calendar. That's pretty amazing. Now, in the Parsha, in Ten Commandments, you can't trust the movie. The book is better. In the movie, you have the smearing the blood on the outside of the walls, right?
Right.
Remember the movie?
Yeah.
Cecil B. DeMille got that wrong, because Rashi says the blood was only on the inside of the house.
Straighten that one out.
We straighten that one. Lechem laos. Lechem laos lo lacherim. Rashi says, Mikan shloinotu adam el b'fnim. Chanoch, where did they smear the blood? On the inside of the house. You can't trust the movie. The book is much better.
It's a special effects one.
Because God doesn't need any signals. We know where you live. So that begs the question, why get my wallpaper dirty? I'm leaving the next day anyway.
The Jews.
So why?
The Jews.
Why did God tell us to smear the blood on the inside walls of our house?
So the Jews would feel.
So to leave a bloody mess for the Egyptians. We're leaving the next day, right?
Remind them of what they did to us. You know, like
So the morale mi Prague, to answer this question, Chanochi, what?
Ask another.
question.
When was the first time in human history a person was commanded to eat a sacrifice? Now keep in mind, Cain and Hevel brought karbanot. Noach, Shem, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, all the great giants brought karbanot. Would anyone dare to eat a karban? It's sacrilege. Karban is olah. What does olah mean? All to Hashem.
Yeah.
The first time in history, says the morale, that human beings were commanded to eat the karban was Pesach night. Chanoch, it's a revolution. Instead of burning the animal on the altar, we're supposed to eat it. Now, a karban, up until that time, the animal was completely burned on the altar, and the blood was smeared on the walls of the altar.
Wow.
Says the morale, on Pesach night, God told the Yidden, I'm making a revolution. You and your house will become my living Mizbeach. Instead of burning the animal on the altar, you're going to chew the shawarma. Instead of smearing the blood on the walls of the Mizbeach, you're going to smear the blood on the walls of your house, thereby turning you and your home into a living altar. That's pretty amazing. That concept was created on Pesach night, where a Jew and his home becomes a living altar. Instead of smearing the blood on the walls of the what, you smear it on your house. Instead of burning the karban, you eat it. On Pesach night, everybody puts on a kittel. What was the main beged of the Kohen? A white kittel. That was his main beged.
Right.
Remember the show Queen for a Day? I'm dating myself. Every Pesach night is Kohen for a night. Queen for a Day. Remember that show? I'm dating myself. Queen for a Day. Pesach night, every Jewish home becomes what? A Mizbeach. And every Jewish father becomes a Kohen. Virtual Kohen.
Right.
Virtual Mizbeach. We're reenacting that. We all become Kohanim. And when we eat the Korban Pesach, we and our homes become a living altar. That concept was created when? On Pesach night. Now, you ever wonder, Chanoch, why did God tell us to take a sheep, not a turkey?
Yeah, because that was their God.
Turkey has less cholesterol.
Because the sheep is a very placid and humble animal.
So what? So is a giraffe.
Turkey is definitely cheaper. Every farmer you get now, you don't get any land.
Chanoch, you wonder?
Turkey.
So Mickey Sunshine gave the answer. Mickey Sunshine gave the answer. The Rambam in Moreh Nevuchim quotes a pasuk in Yecheskel that one of the main deities that the Jews worshipped in Egypt also was the sheep. We became addicted to, you ever see the crazy people that walk around in the street with torn jeans?
Yeah, why?
And the more tears they are, the more expensive they are.
Crazy.
What?
No,
Crazy.
the whole legs
All torn to shreds. That's a form of idolatry, Chanoch. Is that normal?
No.
Is it any crazier to worship a sheep than to walk around with torn jeans? It's crazy. But the Jews were addicted. It's the latest fashion.
That's it.
So you look in Yecheskel, the Jews were addicted to lamb worship. So God says, you worship the lamb, take the lamb and do it my way. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Says Rambam in Moreh Nevuchim, in Yahadut, the tikkun comes from the chet. The way you messed up is the way you fix it.
Wow.
God needs a golden mishkan. We'll talk about that. You sinned with a golden calf. Now take gold and do it my way. So if the Jews would have worshipped a turkey, Chanoch, we would be eating turkey on Pesach night. But since we worship the lamb, the way you sin is you take that object of the sin and you what? And you turn it into a mitzvah.
Yeah.
You turn it into a mitzvah. And therefore, Hashem commanded us to take the sheep and not a turkey, even though a turkey does have, Yehuda, less cholesterol, right? So that's a message for us. Everybody sins. The tshuva has to come, me'en chet, the tikkun from the chet. The way you sinned, now fix it. You see that throughout Judaism.
Oh, yeah.
You see that throughout Judaism. Why do we use wine in all mitzvot of the Torah that it requires food? We use wine.
I think.
Why do we use wine?
With the
Havdalah, Kiddush, everything is wine.
But they sin with the grape.
Beautiful.
Not with the apple.
So the Zohar says that the Eitz Hadas was wine. I heard it through the grapevine. It wasn't an apple.
No.
Adam and Chava ate the grapevine. So the granddaddy of all sin was grapevine.
Wow.
So therefore the Zohar says, Yehuda, therefore we use wine in all mitzvot.
Yeah.
Because all of us have the DNA of Adam and Chava. What does DNA mean, Chanoch? Divine natural ability. We all have the DNA of Adam and Chava. We all have a piece of their soul. So since we all sinned with what? With wine, the Eitz Hadas, the tree of knowledge, wasn't an apple. So therefore the Zohar says, in Judaism, many mitzvot revolve around what? Wine. The way you sin is the way you repair the damage. And we all have the DNA of Adam and Chava. Right? And we all have a part of their neshama. So therefore, when you make Kiddush, the Sfardim say, L'chaim. Malk, you ever wonder?
Yeah.
The Sfardim say Savri Maranan. The Sfardim scream out L'chaim. Buddy, you never wonder why?
No.
Because the Eitz Hadas of the grapevine brought death to the world. So when you make Kiddush to the Tikkun, now it's L'chaim. That's pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Right?
When you make Kiddush on Friday night, and when you make
Kiddush in the...
on Pesach,
Right.
all your sins are blotted out.
Well, that's true, but the question is why? When you make Kiddush on Friday night, right, and you testify, you know what you're saying.
You're testifying to Hashem.
The Talmud in Shabbos tells us that if you make Kiddush on Friday night, and you know what you're saying, and you're not just mumbling the words, all your sins are forgiven. Malka, you hear this? You don't have to wait till Yom Kippur night. Why is that? Because when you make Kiddush on Friday night, you're testifying for God that He's the one and only.
That's right.
Good.
So we are the original witnesses, not the J witnesses. They're phony witnesses.
And not the Jehovah.
Right.
So what?
Right? So,
So why?
but I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because the halacha is that a witness, a rasha, is posel le'edut. A rasha is posel le'edut. What does that mean, Yehuda?
Is that you
Can't be a
have,
witness.
Is what? Say it again.
if you
Russia
have,
can't
A
be
person is a rasha, he's posel le'edut. A rasha,
Yeah.
a sinner,
Yeah.
his testimony is invalid. And God follows His own Torah. So since we testify for God Friday night but we make Kiddush, it's a catch-22. If what is Shayim, our testimony is invalid. Yiddish Aviva. So God has to forgive us when we make Kiddush.
Good.
Otherwise He cannot accept our testimony.
That's good.
Because He follows His own Torah. That's pretty good.
That is.
So, my Rebbe would say, Ephraim, Friday night is better than Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur night, to get kapara, you have to fast. Friday night, you're having your gefilte fish, and your chopped liver, and you're getting kapara.
We like that.
Better than Yom Kippur night.
We like to eat.
It's
We
a
love it.
Seder night, we'll talk about that. Right? Very good, you're right, Seder night. Very good, though. We're getting ahead of ourselves, buddy. You're right. Buddy, you're beautiful, but can we talk about it? Buddy makes a beautiful point. Of all the Chagim in the Torah, only Pesach is called Shabbat. You could look it up. Yehuda. The only Chag that's called Shabbat in the Torah is Pesach.
Wow.
Why? There are many answers, but he gave one. That unique power of kapara that's contained on Friday night is also contained when?
Pesach.
Pesach night. Bueno. Mechavan to the morale. That unique kapara power that Friday night is there, Pesach night has that unique kapara power. How do you say that in English? Atonement power. And therefore, of all the Chagim, the only one that's called Shabbos is what, Ephraim? Pesach and Parshas Emor. The Torah calls Pesach Shabbos.
Glad I came today.
So Pesach is unique. It shares this atoning grace that only Shabbos has. The question is why. We'll have to talk about why, but this is the fact of Pesach. Now, the most important mitzvah of Pesach takes place Erev Pesach. You know that?
Must be burning the hummus.
No, the most important mitzvah, you're right, you burn the Chometz Erev Pesach, but the most important mitzvah is shechting the Korban Pesach. And that takes place Erev Pesach.
Okay.
You're right, the most important mitzvah we can do today. We're spiritually handicapped.
So who does it? The man of the family, or there's one person?
You can have a shliach and chip in. You can appoint one shechter for 60 people or more, right? As long as each one gets a kazayas of shawarma. That's why Jews love shawarma, buddy.
That's why Jews
Bring
are
back the good old days. We remember shawarma, no, the real shawarma.
Guys used to
That's
do
why
it.
The
Jews
real
get
shawarma.
arrested from the because the sheep have very high cholesterol. High
Right.
Oh, what?
meat, and that's why there's
Had it yesterday.
and they
Right.
make ribbons.
What,
and
you
they
had
make
sheep?
Lamb.
Where?
cholesterol.
Right up near Mamilla Mall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'll take you.
That's why Jews love, we remember the good old.
Lamb shawarma?
Lamb shawarma.
Buddy, you're a chef. Let's see if you check this out.
Yeah.
The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh says, Chanoch, you gotta hear this. Why did God command us to eat Pesach matzah moror on Seder night? Why? He says something strange. Pesach night we became His holy people. We became His princes. God wanted to give us a special treat. And the one who invented taste buds, says the Ohr HaChaim, knows there's nothing more delicious than to have chrein, lafa, and shawarma rolled up together.
That's right.
Now, you know, the original matzah was not the Ashkenazi crumbly matzah. The soft matzah. Like the Yemenites eat today, that's the real matzah. You can't make a sandwich with this Ashkenazi matzah. Hillel rolled it up, the original lafa. Says Yoreh Chaim, there's nothing more delicious than to have a lafa, chrein, lettuce, and shawarma rolled together.
Yes.
And on Pesach night, when we became his holy princes, he wanted to give us a treat. And there's nothing more delicious than what? Than Pesach matzah and maror. And therefore he commanded us to eat that.
It's a great idea.
Lamb, isn't that something?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, what you use the
There's
soft
nothing
one.
more delicious. You got to use the soft matzah, guys.
I can make it right here in
This bottom-
It's only 60 shekels a kilo. And that's the real matzah, Yehuda. You can ask Ora. That's the real matzah. The soft shawarma, the lafa.
We get the shmur, it's hard.
Hard, but the Sfardim make a shmura
They
Yeah.
do.
soft. The Sfardim, not just the Yemenites. It's not just the
You
Yemenites.
buy that.
In my shul, Mishkan Yaakov, they're not Yemenites. They're Iraqis and Persians. And they all eat the soft matzah.
Where do you get that? I'll buy it for Liz.
Yeah.
I know where to get it. I know where to get it.
know
They
where
have
to
a-
get it?
Chanoch, you with me on this?
they have a factory
This
right
hard
now.
matzah only was invented in the 1700s. Before that, there was no such thing.
You mean
It crumbles. You can't make a sandwich
It's
from it.
cardboard. I can't
Yeah,
stand the
yeah,
shmur. I know.
That's not the real thing. That's just the 1600s,
They had to
1700s.
get it to fit into a box.
Okay, maybe I'll get somebody.
What?
I'm going to my
But
friend.
that's a treat, Mickey. Pesach matzah maror, there's nothing more delicious. So to give us a treat, when he became his holy people, he commanded us to eat Pesach matzah and maror. What do the vegans do? On Pesach night, you can't be a vegan.
Pitiful.
You can't be a vegan.
Well, Bathsheba came to me one Pesach and she was a vegan.
No, when you have the korban Pesach, you
Rabbi,
can't be.
Rabbi.
You can't be a vegan.
There's a guy in the
You
old-
gotta eat a
very
shawarma.
famous- there's a
You
very
gotta eat-
famous guy in the old city.
Go ahead.
He-
He makes tofuti shawarma.
No,
Tofu.
No. He has people at his house every Shabbos.
Go ahead.
But he only serves dairy or vegetables. Vegetarian. But on Pesach,
Oh.
he'd call me up and say to me, "Could you roast something for me so I can put on my
Roast some lamb.
roast some lamb?" Or he wanted a
Oh, he
chick-
wants
chicken.
us the lamb? Yeah,
Now Shabbos you don't have to eat meat,
I know.
but Yom Tov is a mitzvah to have meat.
Right.
Yom Tov there's a mitzvah to have a kazayas of meats, not much, the size of an egg. Don't be more religious than God. So you can be a vegetarian on Shabbos, you can, but on Yom Tov you have to eat a kazayas of meat.
Yeah.
What do these people do? They're vegetarian. They don't.
Don't be more religious than God. What?
I like it. That's good.
I
Huh?
like it. I love chicken.
Question?
What? That's what I'm here for.
Vegetarians all this time.
Who?
Before
The
Shavuot?
The Jews weren't they vegetarian
Who said?
until the Korban Pesach?
No.
No.
Noach, you're right.
He was allowed
The-
to slaughter.
The Talmud in Sanhedrin 59 says that Adam and his kids were not allowed to eat meat.
No.
They were vegetarians. Noach was the first one was given permission by God to eat meat. So up until Noach's time, they were all vegetarians.
Wow.
They didn't have
From Noach on, God says, Noach, you're permitted to kill animals and use them for food. So from Noach time on, we are permitted to eat meat, and not just permitted, on Yom Tov there's a mitzvah to eat meat. So the question is, Nachmanides Chanoch asked the question, why did God change the rules to Noach? He says, because the animal kingdom owes its survival to Noach, right? Noach wouldn't have taken in the species. So Hakora Satoiv, since Noach kept the animal kingdom alive, it's only right that Noach and his offspring, us, have a right to enjoy meat. Because for Noach and his kids, there would be no animal kingdom. Okay? So on Shabbos you don't have to eat meat, no. But on Yom Tov there's a mitzvah to have basar v'yayin, just a small amount. And certainly on Pesach, there's a mitzvah, you have to eat the korban Pesach, a kazayas of lamb chops.
That's right.
Or shawarma.
That's right.
Right?
But you don't usually have roasted lamb on Pesach.
We don't have the Beis Hamikdash, so we don't have lamb because people shouldn't say we're Karaites, you know? But certain Sfardim do have roast lamb on Pesach night. Buddy, so Ashkenazim Chanoch have a custom not to eat roast meat on Pesach night because people will say we're Karaites. Ashkenazim are always fraidy cats. The Sfardim, there's no problem. You can ask, or especially Yemenites, they not only eat roast meat, but they even have roast lamb on Pesach night. What's the problem? I'm not a Karaite. I don't care what you think.
That's what I had in America.
Right? Ashkenazim are always like, always we're like
Maybe they're worried
timid.
about Morasai.
Want-
Rabbi, maybe
So what
they're
do you
worried
have?
about Morasai.
That's right. But the Sfardim are not worried about Marasayan. Get a life. Get a life.
That's why from the Sfardim it's going to come Mashiach.
That's right. Mashiach will be a Sfardi.
That's right.
You know Mashiach will be a Sfardi?
Yeah.
Rabbi,
King David.
Rabbi,
David.
King
Kaduri
David.
said
King David is Sfardi.
that. Kaduri said that already.
King David is born in Bethlehem. He wasn't born in Poland. King David was born in Bethlehem, not in Poland.
Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they were all dark.
That's right.
Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they were dark.
That's right.
No such thing as Sfardim.
What? And we all left Mitzrayim. We didn't leave Poland. We all left Egypt, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we're all Sfardim.
That's
Right?
that's good, Rabbi.
I like everything they do except on
What?
What are the holidays?
They say 40 days of
Instead of the
slichas.
fish, on Rosh Hashanah they have a lamb's head.
They have a lamb's head, okay?
Yeah.
What-
And a fish head.
Right?
Yeah. And a fish head.
It's only a minhag, it's a minhag day.
I thought that was an Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazim use a fish head.
And the Sfardim.
Sfardim use a lamb head.
What about the ones who use both?
Ew.
Takes up an awful lot of space on the table.
What? The lamb head. A small lamb, what?
Get the baby lamb.
Right? A baby lamb, right?
Some in the soup.
Oh, yeah. It's true. Yeah.
Now, the end of the Parsha. If you look inside, you got to see it inside. Exodus 13, verse 11. Please look inside. If you just came to hear this, Chanoch, it'll be worth it. Exodus 13, verse 11. What page would that be in the Birnbaum?
105.
105? 105, 11. You want to read that, Elisheva?
And when the Lord will bring you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and to your fathers, and will give it to you.
Please stop. Now, Rashi has a problem. He says it seems to be redundant. If God brings us to the land, obviously he gives it to us. Why does he say, well, God will bring you to the land that he swore to your fathers and give it to you? If he brought you here, why do you have to say to give it to you?
Because
It's
you could be
important.
passing through.
Says Rashi, don't look at it as a Yerusha from Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Tir be'enecha, that God gives you Israel every single day. Unatana lach. Day by day. Who sang that? Yiddish? Rashi says the words are not redundant. Ephraim, the words are not redundant. We have to appreciate that God gives us Eretz Yisrael every day.
There you go.
Every day it's a gift that keeps on giving. So if a guy lives in Borough Park, he's rejecting God's gift. How do you learn this Rashi in Borough Park?
And every step you make
It's not a mitzvah.
is also a mitzvah.
But Rashi says, Tei be'enecha kilo natanu lecha bo bayom.
That's it.
Beloved, you should know that God is giving you the land. It's not just a Yerusha from 3,800 years ago. It's a mistake. It's bo bayom. What does bo bayom mean? You know Hebrew. Bo bayom. This today. Every single day, God gives us the land anew. Do we appreciate? That's the pasuk, Exodus 13:11. Therefore, there are extra words there, says Rashi. You should know, ki ilu netana lacha bo bayom.
That's right.
Valti be'enecha ki Yerusha.
We better.
It's not a Yerusha only. It's the gift that keeps on giving of you. Every day he's giving us Pisgat Zev Nu. I mean V'chavia Nu. I mean Nachlaot Nu. Did you know that?
That's right.
Do we appreciate it?
We better.
Do we express our gratitude to him, Ephraim?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
What?
We use the same Modani every morning.
But that's for waking up,
Yeah.
not forgetting Pisgat Zev.
I
What the
do.
day brings also.
It's the gift that he gave us Israel, not yesterday
That's
and not
right.
3,800 years ago, but
But
today
today.
and tomorrow. Amazing
Only the
Rashi.
ones who live here can appreciate it.
But if you don't live here, you're rejecting his gift. See, people think he gave us the gift centuries ago, thousands of years ago, but Rashi says no. It's the gift that he gives continuously. Bo bayom. Ephraim, can you tell that to the people in Machon Meir? Huh? You don't have the Rashi there, but you get home, it's Exodus 13, Pasuk 11, Unaton Aloch. Rashi's puzzled, the words seem redundant. If he brings me here, obviously he's giving it to me. He says, no, he brought me here, but he's giving it to me every day, a new day.
Rabbi,
The gift that keeps on giving.
that's
Keeps
not the
on.
only, that's not the only gift that he gave us that keeps on giving.
What?
Torah also, every day.
Beautiful. Oh, buddy's cooking again. The man is beautiful. We make the bracha, Baruch Ato Hashem, Notein HaTorah. Yehuda knows Hebrew. Not Notan HaTorah, Notein. Beautiful. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Buddy, I'm proud of you. Two gifts that keep on giving. Pisgat Zev, Nachlaot and Torah.
That's right. Baka.
You're so in love with Pisgat Zev.
I live there. It's the largest community in Israel. 65,000 Yidden.
I've been in this home, I know where it is.
65,000
I know
Yidden.
him a long time.
The largest suburb of Jerusalem.
Really?
And it just keeps on growing. And John Balkari is very upset about
I
that.
know. He said about everything.
You know what he
I
Keeps
always
on
say,
growing.
too bad.
Oh, well,
Too
have
bad.
a pity party.
Maladumim.
That's a big community.
Yeah.
So we make the bracha, but he's so right, not Notan HaTorah. He gave it 3,328 years ago. That's a mistake. It began then. We make Notain HaTorah. Yehuda was Notain. Now, Notain, not Notan. So the land of Israel and the Torah of Israel, the two most precious gifts that he gave us, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Who loves you, baby? We have to appreciate the gift of Israel and the gift of Torah every single day. I'm going to leave you with a kasha. A kasha that I have no answer. You should ask Rabbi, what's the rabbi's name of the Kolrina? You're going to ask him this kasha? Two gifts that God gives us all the time. Torah and Israel. We make a bracha on the Torah every day. When was the last time I made a bracha for living in Nachlaot? That's a starke kasha. How do you say that in English?
Serious.
What am I, chopped liver?
That's right. That's right.
They say that we make it with the bracha when you do the bench.
Okay, Yehuda Lev is very smart, but I don't want to give the punchline yet. I want you to... That's a starke kasha. Living in Israel is a mitzvah that keeps on giving. Torah is a mitzvah. We make a bracha on the Torah every day, so why don't we make a bracha on living in Israel every day?
Well, we do when we bench.
So you guys are ahead of me. They're beautiful. They're ahead of me.
Every time I leave the house.
No, so
Until Mashiach comes.
one. Yehuda Lev and Mickey Sunshine gave the answer. A answer. That every time you bench, what do you say? Baruch Ato Hashem al haaretz v'al hamazon.
Of course.
Al haaretz hatova. That's a answer, but doesn't Israel deserve a bracha on its own? You got to put it together with a sandwich, Chanoch. So when you bench, you mention al haaretz hatova. Good.
Okay.
But doesn't Yishuv Eretz Yisrael deserve its own bracha? You got to put it together with a falafel. I think, please ask the rabbi, I'm not joking. You're right, it's combined with benching, but doesn't it deserve a bracha on its own, Nikki? I think it's a starke kasha.
Why don't you ask him?
I'll leave you with a cliffhanger, and I want you to ask him that, Kasha. Thank you very much.